Good thing we came down early, eh?
No kidding. But look at that. She have fish and shrimp.
Yeah,
It's not
looks good.
often you see that in a buffet breakfast.
No. You make a rice bowl.
I'm going to.
Wow, I'm really impressed with breakfast.
Me too, but it's like a zoo out there. It's like a free-for-all. Everybody's just going nuts.
And it's not even full.
No kidding. It's early. I think we arrived like a few minutes before it officially opened, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
One of the cool things about this place is they have a make your own sriracha bowl sort of station at the buffet. So I did make one. And this was sort of one of the things we saw on TripAdvisor when we were booking the hotel in Hakodate was the breakfast at this place was supposed to be really good. And it does look really good. They have a really good selection. So we're going to tuck in and get full for the day. Part of the make your own sriracha bowl station were these little packets that I think are like the sprinkles that you put on rice when you're making rice balls or whatever. And I don't know what they are, like what flavors they are. So I'm using Google Translate to try and figure that out. And they all have pictures on them, so you can kind of guess. So this one must be egg. It's fish of some sort. I'm not quite sure. Maybe that fish roe that seems so popular here that comes in like a tube. And this one, I have no idea, so I translated it. The top here says sprinkle. This one translated to strange. Maybe I'll stay away from that one. I'm trying strange. I have no idea. I don't know if I've ever tasted that flavor before. I'm wondering if it might be like bonito, but I'm not sure. But it's not bad. It is a bit strange only because I don't know what it is, but not because it tastes bad. I tried the strange.
What does it taste like?
I have no idea, but it's not
Let's
bad.
look at it. Why are the strands sticking
Oh,
in
that's the egg from earlier.
What does it smell like? I think I can smell pepper. Does pepper smell strange? Does strange smell like pepper?
I wondered if it's like bonito.
No, I don't smell the pepper anymore.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know what it is.
It smells kind of like what do you call this? A pet shop.
Okay, now it's strange. Okay, I'm gonna try and eat this with visions of pet shop in my mind now. Finishing off breakfast here, a really good breakfast with a little bit of dessert. So I had a bowl of fruit and yogurt, nothing too exciting, but they had some Hokkaido custard tart, egg tart I think they called it. This is a apple caramel pound cake. This is some mochi. I'm not sure what this is. I didn't Google Translate it. And there's a custard, like a caramel custard type of thing, which seems to be a big thing in Hokkaido. We've seen it at several places. And this is some kind of tofu dessert, I guess. I'm not sure exactly, but it is tofu based. So let's try the tofu. Yeah, it's like tofu, really creamy tofu with almond. So maybe the stuff on top is some kind of almond milk, or maybe the tofu itself is flavored with almond. That's really good. I'll try a bit of this custard. I can't really taste the custard too much on that one. The caramel sauce just overpowers it. It's good. It's really good. I'd like to taste some of the custard. All right, let's try this apple caramel pound cake. It's like the cake itself is caramel flavored, and then there's little chunks of soft apple in it. That's pretty good. And then we'll try the egg custard, egg tart. The custard's really good. It's a good eggy flavor. It's denser than what I'm used to with like a Hong Kong style egg tart. The crust is meh. Crust is okay. But the egg custard's really good. Okay, the last thing here I'm gonna try is the mochi. And it's dusted in some, I forget what it's called. Remember what the stuff they dust the mochi in is?
Oh, I forgot.
It's like a flour.
It looks
some
like
kind of flour. That's good. It's unspectacular.
Mochi is not spectacular.
I like mochi usually. It's okay. Alright, just gonna finish up all these goodies and we're gonna head up to the room and figure out what we're gonna do today. Poor Nicole, she's not feeling too hot today. She's a really bad headache. So after breakfast, she decided she's just gonna lie down for a bit, and I was just gonna go to the lobby and do some stuff on the computer, but I decided I might as well get out and look around. So I came down. The hotel is pretty close to the bay, so I thought I'd just come down and walk around the bay here and see what's up. It's Sunday, so it's pretty quiet. I would expect that during the week it's probably really busy down here. Hakodate is a fishing port. I think they're known for squid is one of the things that Hakodate is known for. See a lot of squid related stuff around. They actually have a dish that I saw on the internet, which I'm not going to try, but it's a squid. It's like maybe a small squid that it comes out fresh. It's not alive, it's dead, but it's really super fresh, and they give you a little cup of something to pour on it, like maybe a soya sauce or something. I think it's a soya sauce. And you pour it over the squid, and the tentacles start moving like it is alive, and it's just something in this. I guess the sodium in the soya sauce interacts with the squid, the muscles, and makes them move, which is kind of creepy and not something I really want to do and put in my mouth. But anyways, I guess some people are into that, so that's a thing that they do here. That's pretty popular. The hotel is nice. I mean, what can I say about the hotel? The hotel is a nice hotel. It was the #1 hotel on TripAdvisor, and almost twice as much as some of the other hotels around that looked, a little bit comparable. But it's huge. You can see it. I'll show it to you here. That is our hotel, La Vista Hotel and Spa Resort. You can see on the top floors public baths, and from here they look pretty interesting, but some of the reviews on TripAdvisor said stay away because they're not well maintained apparently, but I can't speak to that because I didn't bother going into them. The hotel is just like full to capacity, it feels like. There's people everywhere and everything is busy. We heard that breakfast can get super busy, like you have to line up to wait to get in to get a table, and I was surprised because the room is huge. There's a lot of seating in there. So we got up really early and headed down, and we didn't have to wait, and it was like maybe a quarter full at that point at 6:20 in the morning. So we didn't have any problems. And the food was really good. The breakfast is amazing. They have a really good selection. They have make your own sriracha bowl, as you saw. Hot foods, baked goods. They have all kinds of stuff there. It's really, really good. I'm really full. Had a good breakfast. The hotel itself maybe looks a little bit dated, but it's nice. I mean, it looks like it's relatively well maintained. The lobby it's got an old feel to it in a good way, but I think it's just really, really busy. And our room, we must have booked the smallest room possible because it's tiny. I showed you yesterday. It's just a bed. It's just a bed, a desk, a really old TV. So Nicole's up there chilling right now in our bed, which is our room. But it's nice down here at the water. You see all the industrial fishing spots, and they must do shipping. There's a lot of like container cranes over there. See how far we get. Looks like there's a little park over there. We're well underprepared for this place because we don't really have a good sense of why we booked it, what there is to do here, why we wanted to come here. I think it's known for seafood. It's known for food, some good food. It's got its own style of ramen, which is a salt-based broth, shiu, and obviously seafood because tons of fishing here. But in terms of sites, we're not quite sure. So when Nicole's feeling a bit better, she'll message me and I'll go up and we'll take a quick look. We did go to the tourist information yesterday, so we have a couple brochures with some ideas. One of the things we could do, which I'm kind of interested in doing, is going up the mountain here. You can take a ropeway up to that observation post. I think there's restaurants up there. It's supposed to be a beautiful view over the city. So you can also walk it apparently. It's about an hour walk up. There's a pathway up. So we might try and walk up an hour before sunset and then spend some time up there, watch the sunset, and then take the cable car back down because apparently they close the pathway at night because it's not lit. So that's an option. There's also a Western style fort here. It looks from the sky, it's like in a star shape. It looks kind of interesting. I wonder if that star is I have to look it up. If that's a 5-pointed star, so it'd be the same sort of star motif from the early development days of Hokkaido. So we could do that. But there are things to do. I think we were just a bit shell-shocked yesterday, and today it looks like it's going to be a really nice day. Could get a little bit of rain off and on, but right now the sky is pretty blue and there's some clouds, but nothing too ominous looking. Even with all of the industrial stuff going on around the port here, still quite picturesque with the mountains off in the background. Right now it's nice and calm. It's not windy, the water's nice and calm. And it's not too cold, just a perfect temperature. I'm not hot in my goose and my head's not freezing. So I'll just continue walking around the port here and see what we find. So there's a monument here. It looks like a polar bear to me with an anchor and a sign here with quite a bit of English, which is interesting. And it says that Hakodate became the entrance of Hokkaido, both in name and reality, after the Meiji restoration. So it sounds like this was the first place that people from Japan came into Hokkaido through as they started developing in the late 1800s. And this was the first port on Hokkaido as well. And the sign goes on to talk about the first ferry service that ran between Aomori and Hakodate, and the various companies that ran the route throughout the years. And then it does say here that it looks like it kind of went down after the war. This harbor used to be flourishing and was full of people before the war, when the northern sea ships arrived and departed. So this monument here, this polar bear, was put up in 1968 to mark the 100-year anniversary of this port, of Hakodate becoming a port. So maybe it does,
was a very different place back before the war, and definitely when they were starting to come over for the first bit, getting Hokkaido up and running. Another informational sign. This one's talking about commerce a bit more. And there was a treaty signed in 1859 with 5 other nations. Japan, I guess, was the 6th nation. And Hakodate became one of the first ports open under that treaty, along with Yokohama and Nagasaki. And I'm guessing Yokohama and Nagasaki must have been opened first, because the other sign said that Hakodate's port wasn't really opening until 68. So, but it does say that a quarter of the exports was kelp for China. It's the other high ranking exports. That might be some weird translation. Other top exports were dried sea cucumber, dried squid, and dried abalone. And so they built a customs building in 1911, which looks kind of neat. Which they tore down in 72 to build what I think is this building. I think that's what this building is. And it has a nice street leading into it. Sub-area activity, Hakodate. Okay, I want to talk about maps in Japan. This was something that on our very first, well, every trip up until this trip has driven me crazy. In the first couple trips, it just completely screwed me up. The last trip I kind of realized, okay, something funky's going on, so I was able to adjust. And on this trip, I finally understand what's going on. You know, first trip, no data on my iPhone. So I wonder if I even had an iPhone on the first trip, 2007. I might not have, I don't remember. But either way, I didn't have data. So I would do my research in the hotel room on Wi-Fi, look up Google Maps, have a picture in my head, maybe a rough sketch of the map or print it out or whatnot. So I would have this map, and then I would get to the destination, usually a subway stop, and they have these maps. I'll put some up on the screen right now. Subway stations always have maps everywhere showing you which exits to go out of and where they are on the city map. So I would have that sort of sense, okay, I need to go out, turn right, which would be east, and sort of go that way, or whatever the direction was where I was trying to go. And I would get to these maps and I would look at them and I'd be like, nothing's lining up. Like everything's backwards. I didn't get it at all. It screwed me up a lot. We'd go out there on entrance and I'd be like, this is not right. We'd have to go back in and try a different one. I just did not get it. Last trip I started to see what the problem was, and it's this. I don't think I've ever seen a map in Japan where north is north. They're always drawn differently, and north is always pointing in some different direction. So at least on the last trip, I was like, okay, I'll take whatever I drew or whatever I printed out, or if at that point I had data so I could rotate the map to match on my iPhone, and then everything would make sense and I'd be fine. But I was like, what the heck is going on? What's actually happening here, which is genius once you understand what's going on, and complete bonkers until you understand, is that the map actually is oriented in the way that you are standing and looking. So if I look at this map, north may be pointing down in that direction, north is down this way, but physically, me standing here looking at this map, I can see this island park behind me. Well, if I turn around, it's actually right there. Or on this map, also the start of the mountain where the observatory is up to my left. And if I look up to my left, well, there it is. So this is actually really genius, because you can orient yourself looking at the map. You are standing here looking up at the map, and everything is oriented properly around you. So I know I want to go to that island I just gotta turn around and go to it. If it was north, if north was north, then that island would probably be over here, and I would have to orient myself, sort of understanding that. I would have to kind of know which way north was in the real world, so I can match that up to the map world. So yeah, now that I understand this, it's amazing. I think navigating Japan is going to be so much easier now. The other thing I want to point out on this map, which is something I don't remember seeing on the first couple trips, but definitely on the last trip I saw it and was kind of like, okay, that's interesting, and I took note of it. And that was probably because that year was the year before, sorry, the year right after the tsunami. So we went in 2012, and it was like about a year and a bit after the tsunami. So I was kind of like a little bit sensitive to thinking about that kind of stuff. So if you look on the map in various spots, you see these types of things. So there's a green dude running to a green circle. And I've seen different styles, but they're all very much that, a green dude running somewhere. Sometimes there's a number, like I guessed an altitude number. And you can see, here's another one. And another one. And what these are evacuation sites. So they're not only on maps. I don't see one around me right at the moment, but they're also on signs, kind of like at home in the style of what a no parking sign would be. And they're basically telling you if shit's hitting the fan, this is where you got to run to. And the ones with elevation, I guess, were just, those were always near water. We're kind of near water now, so maybe I'll find some. And if I do, I'll put them up during this video here, so you can see what they look like. But that's just telling you there's higher ground, like run to higher ground. This is in the direction of higher ground. So if there's a tsunami warning or whatnot, run like hell to this spot. I hope that information is going to be helpful to some people. I'm probably going to make that a separate video, as well as put it in today's video, just so that it can be found a little bit more easily. And hopefully that'll help some people, because based on what I was searching on the internet, I'm not the only one who's been confused by that. And now that you will understand how it works, you'll be laughing trying to navigate around Japan. I've come across the bridge over to the island, which was behind me in the other segment talking about the maps. And it's a beautiful little island. I'm not quite sure what it's for. So far, I've noticed some football fields or soccer, depending on where you are in the world, up behind me. And there's a nice walkway around the exterior. You can get right up to the water. And this also was labeled an evacuation site on the map, which I'm a bit confused about. I don't really know what that means now, because I don't think this is where they would want you to come if there was a tsunami. That seems a little bit sketchy, to be honest, because I don't think I want to be on this low island in the bay when water is coming in. So maybe it is an evacuation site, like they can land I have no idea. They could land helicopters on the football fields, maybe. I'm not sure. It's definitely not a high ground. I would rather be up there at the observation deck if a tsunami's coming in. But I guess Nicole will be safe right now. She's over there across in our hotel on the 5th floor, so she'll be probably pretty safe. So Nicole, if I don't come back and there was a tsunami, you'll know what happened to me if this camera is ever found. And I'm sorry, but I have your passport. Up here, there's a dude fishing. He seemed as interested in me as I am with him. He kept looking at me, wondering what the heck I'm doing with the camera, pointed at myself. And this other guy down here just showed up, and he is starting to fish. There's a guy down there too. There's 2 guys down there fishing. So I wonder what they're catching. Maybe I'll say hi to this guy as I walk by and see if he's friendly. This guy looks kind of ominous. A giant crow. Or raven, maybe? I think that's would be classified a raven. He's getting pretty close. I wonder, he's hoping I'm gonna have food. Oop, I wasn't even filming him. He walked towards me. He's pretty close now. Let's see what happens if I get closer. I don't want to get lured in. That raven reminds me, I'm not sure if we mentioned this when we were at the zoo in Sapporo, but there were announcements coming on in various languages on the PA throughout the zoo, saying that if you're carrying a plastic shopping bag, then put it inside a real bag or hide it, because the crows will attack you. They'll attack you and your bag. I guess they've associated that to food. So at one point there was a couple of girls with a bag, and they were scurrying around from one building to the next, looking up like all terrified. I thought that was really funny. Oh look, he caught something.
Kare.
Oh, squid?
Kare.
Kahe? Oh, it's gone.
Kyo. Kono kyo. 見ます？
Oh wow. Very good. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah, he was friendly. But he whatever he was catching must have lost it there. But he showed me, as you saw, so I wonder what kind of, some kind of flatfish. He was telling me in Japanese what it is, but I have no idea. Oh, it's a beautiful day. I hope Nicole is feeling better and getting up and messages me soon.
Just got up, something's wrong. I waited up with wounds on my feet. Where will you be? Flickering through memories, the Polaroids yellowed in the sun, longing to be seen. So come and hide, hide with me, hide with me, hide with me. Come and hide, hide with me, hide with me.
That was a really enjoyable stroll around that island. Beautiful views out over the bay. Fisherman guy is interesting. Lots of I saw about 4 or 5 people fishing around the edge there. Let me see if I can pronounce the name of this island. I'm sure I'm going to butcher this. Midori-no-shima Island. Midori-no-shima Island. I would say it Midori-no-shima Island, but I know that I is pronounced a little bit differently, so I might try and say Midori-no-shima Island. I think that's hopefully pretty close, and I didn't just totally butcher that. But if you're in Hakodate, I would highly recommend a stroll around the island, especially if it's nice and sunny out like it is today. You get some good views over the bay. It has some of the big fishing vessels and whatnot. So I think I'm gonna head back to the hotel. I'm kind of worried about Nicole. I thought I would hear from her by now. I'm gonna go check up on her, and hopefully she's feeling better and we can go out and she can see some of the sights as well. Knowing her luck today, as soon as we venture out, it will start raining. The wind picked up a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't mean a storm is blowing in. It's supposed to potentially rain on and off today, but it's hard to tell that from the sky right now. It's beautiful blue with the odd cloud. So I don't really want to message Nicole. I'll just walk to the hotel and give her a bit more time, and if she's ready, she'll message me. On my way back to the hotel, I made it to the red brick buildings, the old warehouses I mentioned earlier, and I didn't notice this before, but it's really cool. They've put up a scene along the sides of the buildings that depicts an old Japanese folklore of Christmas, and it's that of Santa Claus. And if you didn't know, Santa Claus is actually a ninja. He can scale walls, and he's not alone. This old folklore talks about the clan of Santa Claus, and it's a clan of ninja. And on Christmas Eve, they scale your walls into your house, and they assault you with presents. It's really quite an amazing tale, and they've done a really good installation here, sort of trying to portray that old folklore. There's several Santa ninjas making their way up into the red brick buildings. And I think I got that pretty accurate. You know, I probably got a bad translation of the old folklore. So if I got any details wrong there, please comment below and let me know. Yay! Nicole's feeling better, but still not 100%. But she's feeling better, good enough to come out with me now, and we're heading to the morning market. It's about 11. And the market closes at 12, so we have a bit of time to go check it out. It's one of the main sites to come see in Hakodate. Looks like a lot of people are heading that way, or maybe they're heading to the train station. We'll find out soon. The Hakodate morning market is an amazing array of seafood. I've never seen so much seafood in my life. I feel like, well, maybe the market in Tokyo rivals this, but in terms of crab, this has that beat hands down. There's like tons and tons and tons of crabs sitting here in this market. Vendor after vendor selling off huge crabs, like hundreds of dollars each. Pretty impressive. And it's just filled with different products from the sea. Nicole's looking at the dried scallops because she really likes dried scallops. Her mom makes a soup she loves with dried scallops, so she's trying to find a good looking scallop. So there's vendors that specialize in scallop, it seems, and crab and various fish. There's also kelp and seaweed, and there's the odd produce stand. Yeah, and it's pretty busy. It's pretty packed in here. A lot of people looking. A lot of people buying, actually. And then a lot of these places with the crabs and the live seafood out front also have little restaurants in the back where you can go and they'll barbecue or boil up the seafood fresh for you. And that's what we had when we were in Otoru that night, was a similar kind of idea, but this you just would have endless supply of variations or variety to choose from. There we had like one. Here there's tens and tens and tens of them. It's really quite a spectacle. Just as a reminder, drop 2 zeros and add 25% to what's left to get Canadian dollars. Those melons are $37.50 about. One melon's $37.50, and the pack of strawberries is about $14. That is crazy. crazy. Nicole is on the hunt for scallops.
They're dried scallops. They're different. They're for cooking and for making kanji and frying and stuff. Whereas the other scallops that you're talking about are fresh scallops, so you can't take them everywhere.
Hmm.
I think we found the winner. They're M-sized, they're 250 grams.
Nicole drives a hard bargain, and this guy is willing to go a little bit lower than everybody else. So this may be our winner. What else you got there?
I had seasoned squid, then I had plain squid. The plain squid was really soft. And then, I don't know what this one is, what the difference between this one is. I think that's spicy squid. All of them are good. I'm gonna see if he'll go down in price for this one. So let's see what happens. For this one.
She got a bargain.
Now I'm looking for the bigger bag.
They're all the same.
No. I think we'll go for this bag.
Something Nicole noticed, which seems really unusual for Japan, is if you stand there long enough staring, they'll start offering you discounts. Because they seem pretty open to talking about getting a discount. So she'll just stand in front of a big display of dried scallops, and the man will come out, talk to her for a bit, Nicole will hum and haw, and out comes a calculator and a discount. You don't really see that too often in Japan. That's kind of interesting. And they also seem to really cater to tourists here, obviously. You can buy stuff and they'll ship it home for you. And they also have tax-free. So you can get tax-free fresh crab shipped home with a discount.
What'd you get?
I got a snow crab steam bun. It's very, very hot. So I'm waiting for it to cool a little bit before I start trying to eat this.
Yeah, I can see the steam coming out of him.
Yeah, I can barely hold it. I'm gonna have to hold it like this.
That crab looks like he's very happy to be eaten.
I didn't see this kind of a happy crab in all these tanks.
Are you ready to have a crabby bun?
Yes, I think it's cooled off enough now to handle. Let's see. Just peeling off the wax paper.
Let's see the stuffing. Wow, they're generous with the crab. That's like real. That's legit. That's not filling. That's real crab.
Yeah. I'm not getting crab flavor yet, but I got like a sweetness. I got the crab.
Okay, let me have a go at that sucker.
No way.
Thanks.
It reminds me a little bit of like a crab salad. It's got that vibe going for me. Here, you try it.
Wow. They're generous with the crab. It's not filler here.
That seems like a pretty consistent thing in Japan. You don't get gypped.
Yeah, I'm not getting chipped. You're getting full-on crab here.
All right, I'm gonna finish it off unless you want some more.
You go ahead.
All right. We're done the Hakodate morning market, and we're walking back to the hotel now. That was a real success, I would say. It was a fun walk around, saw a lot of interesting things, saw a few disturbing things. But yesterday when we walked by at night, it was closed, and it looked like really there's a market here. It looked like it was kind of a thing of the past, but when you came here today and everything was opened, it was like really lively and just like night and day, really. Amazing how they pull all their stuff out and make a really deserted, abandoned looking warehouse type of feel into a really happening market with tons of people coming and checking out their wares. So yeah, we got Nicole got her scallops. That old dude gave her a deal, and she sweet talked her way into a better deal. And did you get the squid? I think you got that squid too.
A giant bag of squid.
Yeah, So that worked out really well.
Yeah.
And then we ended up buying those strawberries that I mocked because they look ridiculous. They looked like
Candy.
well, they looked like plastic food. Like they were so perfect.
They look like candy to me. Like if Willy Wonka decided to make strawberry candy, that's what they would look like.
Yeah, I guess because of the perfectness of them. That's what made us feel like they were either plastic or candy, whatever. They weren't naturally grown.
And every booth we went to that we saw the strawberries, they kept emphasizing that they were number 1. Because they
Yeah.
had another brand that they said that was number 2. But the number 1 one looked just far superior.
Yeah, it was an easy sell, easy upsell. When we get back to the hotel, we're gonna bust into those strawberries and give them a try, eh?
Oh, I can't wait.
We'll definitely film that so you can see our reaction to these perfect strawberries, and we'll give you a better look at them. And we'll figure out what we're gonna do next. We definitely found the touristy section of Hakodate.